So the way you can test this exercise to see if it's going to be helpful for you is that you pop your ankle just above your knee and let your knee just drop. What it often does, it makes the pelvis drop this way too. So then just level your pelvis up, so your pelvis is level here, but let the leg drop. Then you just notice how high that knee is from the ground. So you can measure in amount of hands, just eyeball it that way, and notice how it feels. So it can feel quite different side to side. So it might feel like sometimes there's like a line of tension in the joint, sometimes around here, sometimes it's tense here, sometimes the groin. So it's a test of the joint capsule, plus any muscles that are tight and holding things a certain way. Then do the other side. And you're definitely noticing if there's pain when you do it too. So I'm just leveling out the pelvis to start, drop the knee down. So I feel like I'm a lot higher this side. So I'm just eyeballing that one for hand heights. So you just notice how it feels, what happens. And then we do this exercise for 4 sets and then retest. So how I set this up, you need to be near a wall, near a foam roller. This one's pretty long, it can be a shorter one, it still works. Pop that underneath that leg and pressing that knee is going to press into the foam roller. So it gets the adductor working as you get the glute working. So it's really good for stability through the pelvis. So I want my knee to be in line with my hip. So if I was here, I don't want that alignment. It'll do some stuff, but this is where we want to be to start with. So there's that alignment there first. This leg has to be up, of course, so that so the foam roller can be there. I'm comfortable with my spine, so you may need a pillow under your head. That's all fine to do. The further in my heel is to my backside, the more it gets my glute to engage. The further out the foot goes, the more the hamstring will engage too. So I recommend having the foot in close to your backside to start with. And then, like all bridges, it starts off with the pelvis tucking under that way. So pelvis going under that way. Then I'm peeling my spine off the floor like my body's Velcro. So I'm peeling that off. And then I go back down one vertebra at a time, like I'm carefully sticking the Velcro back down. So I've got some push going in here. I push through my foot, get the curl through the body, and I lift up as high as I can, and it may not feel like much movement. And then I'm carefully coming back down one vertebra at a time. And then I'll practice that again. So I tuck the pelvis under, constantly squeezing into the foam roller. You may, in the beginning, notice you use your elbows quite a bit. Gradually, you want to have no elbow use. You can have your legs straight if that's easier. And it'll burn your butt, it'll burn the adductor. You may shake because it's an unusual, unaccustomed movement. It's all fine to do. It'll strengthen and stabilize the pelvis like crazy. As I push through my foot, I'm aiming to push through on this side, the center of my heel, knuckle of the big toe, knuckle of the little toe. So that tripod, I'm pushing through that tripod, and that actually influences through reflexes what's happening with this hip as well. So starting off with 5 to 10 reps, 4 to 5 sets. And this can be done daily, but every second day is okay as well, and definitely do both sides. So a way to progress the adductor bias bridges, single leg bridges, is to do a standing version. So whenever you stand for exercises after you've been doing laying down ones, the laying down ones are designed to ensure that muscles that normally are doing too much work and other ones that are being a bit lazy, that the lazy ones get a chance to do their job, and you have it's more easy to control segments of your body when you're laying down. That's why most rehab starts that way. Then gradually get into where you're doing standing things, but your body still has the understanding of controlling those segments. So as soon as you get into standing, you can integrate a lot. So integrating through your feet. So it's a big jump in rehab when you can do that. So the really key thing, and this is with any exercise, we want the tripod of the foot, so center of the heel, knuckle of the big toe, knuckle of the little toe. That tripod has the weight all the time. So often people will have weight go out of the heel. It puts pressure in the knee. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. It's a good thing to do, but not if you have a painful knee still. If you let pressure out of this knuckle, the foot tends to do that, the knee tends to fold this way too. And then if you let it come in, you lose pressure out of here, the knee tends to come in as well. So the equal pressure in the tripod all the time allows the brain to have a good sense of the foot, and it loves that. It affects all the neurology through your entire body when it has that sense. It's called a grounded neurology, or grounded sense of neurology. And it also allows more space to be created in the hip joint for mainly internal rotation of the hip, but also external too. So how we do this, so we've got the band around the knee, and we've got enough tension that if we're not controlling ourselves, it'll want to pull you out. Okay, so it gives that adductor bias there all the time. And we want the knee to stay in line with your big toe, even the second toe, depending on how that feels, whichever one feels the best. That alignment stays there. So we don't want the knee doing any of these kind of motions at all while you do this. Then we come up on one leg, bend the knee until you can't see your toes anymore on this side. Then we step back. So I'm just resting my tippy toe here. So I've got nearly 100% weight on this leg. And then from here, I'm hinging, so my butt sits back, and I'm bowing forward and coming back up. So I'm keeping weight in the tripod the whole time. This knee's not moving. It's not moving forward or back, and it's not moving side to side. So the knee's totally still. All the movement's coming from here. So the hip sits back as I bow forward. And what that looks like from the side, this will be the wrong line of pull, but just so you can see from the side. My back's staying straight, and I'm bending this way. So just my backside moves. So you notice my knee doesn't move forward at all. And you'll feel a lot of engagement going through the backside. And I'm staying square to where I am, so I'm not letting it turn in like this, and I'm definitely not letting it turn out like this. So the pelvis is staying square along with the torso. And I'm feeling it right in the glute. This is good, and the adductor as well. So make sure you have a good hinge, bending from here with the lower back not rounding at all. So that's bending from my back, and I'm not letting my back arch. So often people, before they go to hinge, they arch their back. So it locks, the hip flexors lock on, rectus spine locks on already. And then they go, oh, I've got to go to hinge now because I'm bending from here. Well, you are bending from there, but you just made a pattern lock in first. And they'll have really sore lower backs, and they can't breathe properly in the exercise. So we want to be breathing in and out through the nose, mouth closed. And we can add, we can hold a barbell, we can hold a dumbbell, one hand, both hands, and change hands too, so it'll give a bit of a different feel. And of course, change sides. So we're looking at 3 sets of 10 to 20 reps. And this is best done every second day.